Hey, this is Travis Scott, the Mortgage Brewer, and I am so excited about today's brew day. I'm actually going back to my roots. I am brewing the recipe. It was my very first all grain batch way back in 2015. Back then, I was using your typical starter set. I was using a turkey fryer, propane, a cooler for my mash tun. So we've come a long way. I've got a full Herm system now. But I wanted to get back to my roots a little bit and brew this beer. So it is a Lefse Belgian Blonde Ale. Very drinkable. It's a simple grain bill, almost a smash beer, really. We'll get into the ingredients here just in a little bit. But I'm so excited about today. So come along for the ride as we step back in time a little bit and try this recipe all over again. For the yeast, I'm going to be using this Omega Yeast Abbey LC. This is a very traditional Belgian Abbey style yeast. It's got a pretty normal flocculation on this one, and it really should ferment at about 74 degrees or so, a little bit higher than normal. The range is like 68 degrees to 78 degrees. So I'm going to kind of go in the middle at about 74. Should give us a nice, crisp Belgian kind of flavor that we get from this style of yeast. The original gravity should come in around 1056, so I expect this to be about a 5% to a 5.5% ABV on this. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the grain bill for this one. This is, again, a very simple grain bill. I'm doing a 5-gallon batch, so with that, we're going to have 8.75 pounds of Belgian Pilsner. I'm also going to have 1/4 pound of the Caramel Malt 10L. So it's going to be, again, a very light colored blonde as usual. We're also going to bump up the ABV a little bit and sweetness by adding in some Belgian Candi clear sugar, right? So that's going to give us about a pound of that to add in a little bit more alcohol and obviously a sweeter flavor to the beer. Now, one thing I'm going to say about this brew day is I'm so excited. Again, as I mentioned before, I'm stepping back in time just to redo this recipe. I probably made this recipe about 5 or 6 times when I first got into the all grain brewing. And I was trying to learn how to do everything, right? I mean, I didn't know anything about it. I watched a ton of YouTube videos, obviously. That was the greatest teacher I had. But coming back to this now with a full Herm system, a 3-kegel system, just, stepping away from the early turkey fryer and the cooler and all of that. I mean, it just brings back so many memories. So again, this brew day is a very, very special one, and I can't wait to try this beer. I'm going to be mashing in at about 150 degrees. So I have my hot liquor tank here set at about 151 or 152. And what happens is the beer goes through this mash tun with a false bottom. It'll recirculate through the coils inside this hot liquor tank here. And then from there, it regulates the temperature. It'll circulate back into here through the top and keep it at a constant 150 degrees. Wrapped up the brew day here. Gravity came in a little bit light. We're at 1046. We're hoping for 1052. So wasn't quite as efficient as I wanted to in the mash, but all things considered, it came out great and very much looking forward to the tasting.
I found that photo in the sofa, and it's from way back in '01. So I guess there's much I never told.
All right, it is tasting day for this Lefse Belgian Blonde Ale. And when I made this beer, it followed the recipe, but actually probably didn't ferment it quite long enough. It hit the numbers on the final gravity. However, I didn't let it really condition and settle out. So it came in very cloudy. And I let it sit for an extra couple of weeks in my keg. But it still tastes just the same as it should. It's just that the appearance is definitely still cloudy, but like I said, it drinks well. So let's give it a taste here. Definitely off the nose, you get the Belgian, the esters, a little bit of banana in there. Very bready still, which is nice. Obviously, it's very cloudy. Let's take a sip here. Yeah, strong Belgian characteristics there. A slight bubblegum taste, honestly, but a little banana. I just love it. It has a great typical Belgian ale style taste, which I love. But I'll definitely be making this again. And we'll let it sit for an extra couple of weeks in the fermenter just to make sure that everything clears out on that. But overall, I'm very pleased with this beer. Hope you enjoy the recipe. If you get a chance to make it, I think you'll really enjoy it. Cheers.